Georges, what an honor. Congratulations. What does being inducted into the Hall mean to you?
First, thank you for having me here, and yeah, being inducted here. It's for me, it's a great honor, the highest honor a Canadian athlete can get, and yeah, it's I'm thrilled.
It struck me when you were speaking. You said, I'd go into the octagon alone, but there were so many more people that helped you. It takes a village, no doubt. So who do you think of in this moment?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's important to have a solid team with you when, especially when you're an athlete, and I think in sport and in every other domain, it's important to have a team of people that are competent and that also you can trust is very important. I think how you build up your team will have a profound effect on your performance, and it's important that are people you trust and that are competent. Because if you have people that are competent and you don't trust, you might get cut down the line. And if you have people that are that you trust but turns out to be incompetent, it's just as bad, because you're gonna have problem. So yeah, it's hard to make a team, But even if it's a solitary sport in a way that you compete alone, you're never really alone. And my family, my trainer, my mentor, my coaches, training partner, all my the company that I represent over the year. I was very fortunate. I met some great people, and some of these people had a profound effect and on me. Like they changed me forever, and they made me better.
George, I'll probably never know what it's like to get a call to the Hall of Fame. What is that moment like? What was that like for you, and who did you let know that you had received this honor? Who were some of the first phone calls?
Oh, I have some of my family, my parents, because they were there since the beginning, and my friend, my entourage. It's I was very happy. And it's also fun because you get to meet other athletes from different disciplines. I was with Mr. Nakamura. He's judo. He was the coach of Nicholas Gill, one of probably the greatest Canadian judo competitors. I was very happy to meet him today. You meet athletes from different sport, figure skating, lacrosse. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun to exchange.
You had so much success in your sport. Why do you think you were as great as you were?
It's a good question. I think I was I always been a great athlete, but I never been the strongest, the fastest, or the biggest. I think what made the difference, it was my mind, and my team, the people that I work with, that I had a very solid team that helped me. When I analyze someone I was going up against, I was able to become his perfect nemesis and take him out of his comfort zone and bring the fight where I had the edge and slope the odds in my favor. That's why I believe I was doing very well. Not because I was stronger or faster or bigger, because most of the time I wasn't. I think that made the big difference.
You told this story, and in my research for our conversation, I think it was a video game you saw this, and I imagine it was maybe magic for you when you first saw that. But what do you recollect, George? What stands out about you seeing UFC and the fighter, and what it could mean for you for the first time?
Yeah, I was a teenager, and but before that, I had to go back, and I start martial art. I start karate as a self-defense because I was victim of bullying at school. So I first started this whole thing because of self-defense. I needed something to help me with self-defense. It made me gain a lot of confidence because the dojo, the academy where I was training, was quickly the place where I felt at my best, and it transformed into a passion. Then later on, that's how I earned a living. But I remember when I was a teenager, my karate teacher died at the time, and I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I was a fan of paleontology, archaeology, but I didn't really know. And I saw the first UFC, and I saw Royce Gracie winning the first tournament in the UFC, and it really inspired me. And the sport was not known at the time, was not big. It was still a lot of controversy surrounding it. But I knew right away, it's like I I knew that one day it would become very popular and worldwide. And I told my friend at the time, I said, I'm going to be champion in mixed martial art and UFC. And they all start laughing. And then I remember they were like, no, there's no way you can be a fighter in mixed martial art. And a few years after, I became a fighter in mixed martial art. I did all the sacrifice, the hard work. I built up a team around me. And then I proved them wrong. Then I get recruited to fight in UFC, work my way up to a UFC champion, and defend my title a few times. And now when I look back at things, I'm like, I'm pretty happy, with everything I did. But it would not have been possible with the help of all these people that surround me.
Did you appreciate all of it when you were in the middle of it? Because when I'm talking to all of these inductees, it's only really through the lens of perspective and pausing for moments like this that it really comes full view.
Yeah.
So did you understand and appreciate what you were, the greatness you were achieving when you were in it?
When I was in the middle of it, I did not appreciate it. I was like too stressed because the nature of my sport often is to hurt your opponent. So I was very scared. I was very stressed. Not necessarily stressed to get hurt, but stressed to be afraid to be humiliated, That fear in the same time is what kept me sharp, because I was training in the fear that my opponent was training harder than me. So I needed to be more well prepared, because everything comes from preparation. The confidence of an athlete comes from his preparation. And confidence is the most important thing. You can have all the skills that you want, but if you don't have the confidence, it's a little bit like someone who have a lot of money in his bank account but no way of accessing it. So you need the skills and the confidence. And confidence comes from preparation. So at the time, I was so busy, so stressed, I didn't really realize it. I needed to have an outside perspective of it, like today, when I'd have no more stress in terms of I have other stress, but not the stress of competition. So I can look back at things from a different angle and appreciate it.
You've been really open about some of your struggles during your childhood, and we'll talk about the charity and the work, anti-bullying work you do, and how important that is to you. But why, George, did you feel it important to be vulnerable and to share all parts of your journey?
Yeah, I think I don't claim to be an expert in bullying, because now it has changed. When I was young, it was one thing. It was a group of kids older than me that was waiting for me to get my clothes, to just simply beat me up because they didn't like the way I was, or I didn't have a lot of friends. Nowadays it's different. There's the social media. It's a different kind of bullying. But when I look back at things, I used to feel like I was like a victim, even though I never really considered me as a victim, but I was like, it made me sad sometimes. And when I look back at things now, I realized that this obstacle that I faced when I was young helped me to become who I was, because there's no secret in the world of fighting, full contact sport like UFC, in mixed martial art, there's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of mental warfare. I was used to deal with this on a weekly basis, to deal with bullies and stuff. And I think it helped me. It prepared me to face the mental warfare that I face in my job later on in mixed martial art, because it's a lot of mind game, and I think it helped me. So it made me who I am today.
It's fascinating to hear you share that, because I can see the motivation and inspiration for a charity because of your own experiences. Is that what led to that?
But the thing is, when I was young, it was only negative. Now I see it as a positive experience. It was negative when I was young because I was humiliated, I was getting beat up and stuff. But now when I look back at things, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for making me stronger, because you made me stronger. I think it also made me think about how I can help people, that are in the same situation. And that's why I started a charity for anti-bullying. And I think it's important for kids. Often I've been asked, how can a kid can overcome bullying? I think it all comes to do with confidence. I think you need to find something that passion you. That's something that you're good at, that make you feel good. Could be art, could be music, could be sport, any kinds of sport. but you need to find yourself. We're all different. We all have different gifts. Find your gift. Find what you're good at and stick to it and work on it. And it's going to help you to grow your confidence, because bullies are like predatory animal in nature. A predatory animal, for example, a lion will never go against the alpha bull. He will hunt the weaker bull, the small one. Bullies are the same. They don't go against the strong people. They go against people that lack confidence, that look weak. And I remember when I was young, I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I did not like what I was seeing. I didn't like what I saw, but I fall in love with who I could become, and that's what martial art taught me. I have learned this through martial art. That's how I've developed my confidence, through martial art. But for a kid, it could be through art, could be through anything, but you have to find it yourself. That's your duty, to find what you're good at and what gonna make you a better person, to make you better. And I think that's one of the way that young people can overcome that.
What do you think little George would think of a day like today?
Yeah, it will be little George. Yeah, would probably not believe it in a way, but would be inspired to see what is possible. And I think that's the key. Like we all athletes, we're in the entertainment business, all athlete, all sport. We provide a service to the society that is not essential in a way. We're not like doctors or a concierge or engineer. But what we do, athletes, musician, actor, it's an entertainment business. We inspire people, and that's our role. I think it's important to inspire people to make the world better, to help people to make them, to transform them to the best they can be. I think that's one of our role as entertainer.
Winding down, thank you for your time. I imagine you have many experiences day to day where people tell you about what you have meant to them in their life. An example of that, just now, Connor, who at 10 years old had a figurine, and there is on the stage with you. And I wonder what those moments are like for you when people come to you and say, this was happening in my life when I watched you do this. Or what's that like?
It's incredible. I mean, I can relate to that because I used to watch Royce Gracie winning the first tournament of the UFC. And when I met him, I told him the same thing. And I mean, it just feels great that I can some sort of, in a way, pass the torch to him. Maybe one day he's gonna do it to another kid that's gonna grow up watching him. So I feel great. I just feel like a circle, like a cycle. Life is a cycle, and that's what it makes me realize. It's like a cycle. Someone did it to me, I do it to someone, and he's gonna do it to another guy that will do it to someone else. I hope it's gonna be like that.
Canadians adore you. I sent out a photo. My Twitter, my social media is blowing up. They're absolutely thrilled for you and have supported you for so long. What do you say to the thousands and thousands of fans who have supported you and had your back throughout all of this?
Well, first, thank you so much for the support. I mean, without all the support of the people, I do that because of that. When I meet people in the street, take a picture, it's my duty to do it because that's the people that make me earn a living, so to speak. That's why I can live out of this. So it's part of my job. My job not only to compete in the octagon or on a movie set on big screen. It's to do this, and it's important for me that I recognize that. I think a lot of athletes don't, and I think it's a mistake. I think you need to be able to work in entertainment business is important to do that. It's your duty to do it. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you, George.
Thank you.